Hey everybody, it's Master Cloud, and it's time for some more The Lord of the Rings, the Battle Familiar 2, The Rise of the Witch King, spawning in the upper, I guess, kind of 1 o'clock position. As Mordor, it is going to be the player, a master. Of course, this is, guys, going to be actually me. It's a personal replay that I did save and wanted to show you guys. To my left, my ally is going to be the Dwarven player, Dead. And he, of course, is spawning as... Oh, I did say he was actually spawning as dwarves and going for an interesting opening here, putting the Hall of the Warriors right next to this outpost. As you guys can see, this map is it is a version of the Shire map. It is a 2 versus 2 version of the Shire map. And let's take a look at our opponents in the lower right-hand corner, really sort of in the 5 o'clock position here. As the Red Mordor player, it is going to be MayShadow. A very popular player that I love to feature on my channel because he's extremely well-versed in the game. I am interested to see just what he'll do this game as one of my favorite races, or actually my favorite race, Mordor and his ally slightly to his left here in pretty much the 6 o'clock position, maybe a little bit kind of in the 7. It is going to be the Elven player, ICU, Don't Touch Me, or do some, I don't know. We're just going to be calling him ICU. Oh, ICU, do you see me? Okay, guys, I got it now. All right, give me a break here. Had to take an extra second there, but for the purposes of ease of this cast, he's going to be called ICU. Now, looks like we have a bit of an Orc Warrior rush here coming from MayShadow. Myself, it looks like I've actually already captured this outpost up front. MayShadow, for now, actually has forgone his potentially going for mine. Instead, we'll throw down the War Chant here, begins to chop away at some of my Orcs, but we'll let them get away. Meanwhile, a couple of my Orcs are on the backside with the Eye of Sauron going down to help them take out that outpost. I'm not even worrying about capturing it at this point. I just want to take it out. My Dwarven ally here, Dead, taking what looks to be a position here in the center. Actually not going to be helping me out save my outpost right now. Is going to be rather launching either an attack forward or potentially just trying to hold on to his own over here. He has thrown down a beacon. I think that's to signal me. He wants me to come over here and capture the green dragon in. But for now, I'm a little preoccupied. Now, of course, guys, on that last video, if you haven't checked it out, definitely would recommend it. But, of course, did ask you guys about what type of games you guys would like to see more of, and you guys all said in a very pretty much resounding voice, more team games, more 2v2s, more 3v3s, more 4v4s, so that is definitely what I'm going to be focusing on here for the next couple of casts. I hope you guys do enjoy those that I do put out for you. I also have a pretty good 2.01 replay coming at you guys soon that I would like to share with you guys. Pretty good battle, if I do recall it. Now, some of these players, including the player Dead, you guys may have recalled during that April 2015 tournament, Dead advancing quite far in that tournament. This is actually the first game that I ever played with him. I had not played with him before this. However, we were all sort of warming up for the tournament. This game is actually recorded just before that tournament took place, and some great Haradrim Lancers run through here by MayShadow, and he is slowly but surely pushing me back, as he does have Orcs moving in from many sides now. In the very back, though, however, the Dwarves of Dead now moving forward and beginning to take down a couple of ICU's trees here in the backside, in the front as well. It looks like he's in a at least decent position. He has lost his outpost temporarily, or it's been destroyed. He does, it looks like, still own the building should he choose to rebuild it when he gets the chance. Meanwhile, it looks like a lot of these troops here for MayShadow going to be taking a lot of damage. There is not any extra support here in the front, and now it looks like I have a couple of my own Haradrim Lancers out on the field, and they are immediately going to run after a couple of these Orcs. A great run through there, only a single Orc surviving that. Meanwhile, to the south, a couple more units of Orcs will get charged through with those Haradrim Lancers. You can see in patch 2.2, of course, guys, that is the patch that this is being played on. These Haradrim Lancers much more scary than, of course, in 2.01, when they were basically, I don't want to say useless, but they just did not do the sort of damage that you would expect for a unit, for really the only cavalry unit of Mordor, unless you count the Dark Riders, but the only regular cavalry unit that Mordor has, really. And it's something that you have to upgrade, of course, your Haradrim Palace to even build them. So you can't even build them off the start, unless, of course, you start with the Haradrim and immediately go for that upgrade, which is a tactic. However, in 2.01, the tactic, it was really a useless tactic, as the Herodrum Lancers did not really deal significant damage. However, in 2.02, they do deal a little bit more, do have a little more charge damage, I believe, at least from what I've observed. Have to check the patch notes themselves to be sure. But definitely utilizing them here, and with all of those run through, I'm able to push MayShadow back quite far. And actually, it looks like he's launching an attack here on my ally, on my ally dead. A couple of Mordor archers going to be moving over here. Looks like they are in pretty good. They are in a pretty good spot, and will begin to deal a lot of damage to these orcs who can't get quite the full surround on this mine shaft. Looks like it might fall down, but here comes a group of Herodrum Lancers in from the south side, and the eye goes down as well. The mine will survive. So Dead going to be extremely happy about that. Looks like he's making an attack here on the south side, trying to focus down this Elven Barracks if possible. Does manage to get it, and ICU in a tough spot right now, as he has just lost his only production facility. Does have a Glorfindel out on the field and has held off this attack. However, he is definitely at a he's definitely in a position coming from behind at this point. So it's going to be up to MayShadow to pull this game back in their favor. Does have a couple units of Herodrum Lancers out on the field here. Will be getting a single run through, and then does pull them back. A couple more units of orcs moving over to the eastern side. However, I do have Herodrum Lancers on the field yet, 2 units actually, and all of these units are going to be extremely vulnerable when they don't have pikemen on. And I do actually, it looks like, see this unit to the east side as I do turn my Herodrum Lancers around now. Will go for them immediately here, and with 2 units, that's going to be an even easier kill than before. It looks like these units do survive the initial charge, but with very little health. And I think with the Herodrum Lancers, with 2 units here, this is going to be an easy cleanup for me. Here comes an additional unit of Orc Warriors. A couple of these just being thrown away right now. I don't feel like they're really doing any sort of significant damage at all, like they were in the beginning of the game before I had out these Lancers. Now Glorfindel pushing forward on the left-hand side. It looks like even without the barracks, he had enough remaining troops left on the field that he has been able to push Dead back, and really, Dead has a couple units inside the mine. They most likely are partial units, though weakened, as he does actually eject them. Now Glorfindel going into speed up mode here. Blade of Purity has being activated, and he will begin to chop away at these dwarves quite effectively. I would put them back into the mine actually at this point to defend them from that, as they are clearly not dealing the sort of damage that he would hope. Here comes an arrow drop down on a lot of these troops though, and with that, I believe that was by... Actually, that was by me, so I throw down the airdrop to help my ally there, and I think with all of those units killed off, and now the Herodrum Lancer showing up, Glorfindel might actually be in trouble here. Somehow able to get up to that 10 power, I think, with my Herodrum Lancers dealing so much damage. Actually, Mouth of Sauron now out on the field as well. Both of these Herodrum Lancers units going to survive. Actually, one chasing on forward does get pulled back now, just barely, and Glorfindel being chased down by Mouth of Sauron. Meanwhile, in the center, I have a huge attack force pushing in against MayShadow. I think Mouth of Sauron is just going to be just barely able to catch Glorfindel. Actually, no, Glorfindel is so fleet of foot here that Mouth of Sauron is going to literally charge into all of these pikemen, not paying attention to him here. Do immediately recall him now, but these units are way too close, and Mouth of Sauron goes down. A great pickup for ICU, and a really a critical blow, I would say, to my team, as Mouth of Sauron, not a decently expensive hero, especially at this stage of the game. It's not like I have a ton of farms up over the field. My Herodrum Lancers still doing a decent amount of work, though. Looks like they will be engaging with... actually, I think these Herodrum Lancers are actually my opponent's MayShadows, excuse me. And they do clean up the Dwarven forces on the south side here. Meanwhile, my own base has been, looks like, rebuilt for the most part. My Herodrum Lancers now regenning here in the back of my base. That's where they were stashed momentarily. Looks like I have 3 out on the field. But here comes some cave trolls. However, they are completely undefended. They are by themselves. And that being the case, I don't think they're going to be able to deal a lot of damage, especially with all these, with this group of pikemen in the front, protecting those archers from them. Looks like for now they will retreat, sneaking around the backside. For now, I'm not going to worry about it, as I have bigger fish to fry. In fact, it is going to be Morgamir the Nazgul, much better than Kamul. Tell Bushit if you see him that obviously Morgamir is way better than Kamul. And he will be joining the ranks of my Mordor army now. Looks like for now those cave trolls finally moving around the backside. I might want to recall him. Have spotted this builder though. Would like to take him out too if possible. But for now, the Nazgul is going to be focusing on some of these farms. We'll have to see how much damage he does versus how much damage these trolls do. In the center of the map, looks like actually dead. Moving along the backside, does have Prince Brand level 3 out. Now looks like I missed exactly when he built him. However, he has not been out in the field for at least a little while to get up to that much experience. And we'll be moving in on the reverse side here of MayShadow. This is no doubt unseen by MayShadow is the word I'm searching for. And I believe he might have spotted these units down here, or at least he spotted the slaughterhouse, so he will go ahead and engage that. And even though MayShadow might have a few more troops here, I mean, the Dwarven troops are just so much more beefy than these units, and they should be able to actually quite easily take them out, especially with the hero there as well. So MayShadow going to be distracted by this for the time. Meanwhile, the Nazgul, I think, was able to take out those attack trolls here in the back before they got too much more damage done. There is a single group of Haradrim Lancers up in the upper left-hand side, but ICU now making a huge push against the Dwarven player, as all of his units have been evacuated from the mines to the south against MayShadow, and MayShadow actually able to potentially win this battle. Even with some of the dwarves still here, it has taken a lot out of the unit. A lot of these units out. However, the dwarves are going to have to retreat. They need to return home to defend that base. The Hobbit summon goes down in an attempt to save this Hall of Warriors, but it's not going to be enough. Actually, it might be, as all of those units turn back around, but a couple of pikemen still poking away at. I think the Hall will go down. These Dwarven Guardians able to make it out of the mine at the last second here. Actually, the mines, or the out of the Hall. But here comes myself, as I am bringing my entire army over to help with this defense. A critical mistake here, not taking out that Hall of the Warriors. There's an additional unit of Guardians coming out of this once again. And finally, Glorfindel focuses it down, but I think a little bit of a mistake there, is that really provided a sort of a barrier, almost cutting off his army, allowing his army to be sort of surrounded, if you will, not surrounded, but sort of like cut off, and having to fight sort of in a very awkward angle. And I think that really did not favor him. A single attack troll now joining, or not an attack troll, a mountain troll joining the battle here, but he is going to be very quickly pushed back. Very few of ICU's troops remain. Does he have Mirkwood archers on the way? That's what I'm interested in. Yes, he does. Finally has that upgraded barracks, and we will finally see some Mirkwood archers out in the field. Would have liked to see those a little bit sooner, but I think having that barracks destroyed in the early game definitely put him a little farther back than he would have liked to have been. Does have several Ent expansions here in the front now in an attempt to deal with these forces at long range. MayShadow making attack on the right hand side though. Malthasarn going to be returning to the field up to level 2 now. Does run into a couple of pikemen there. It's not going to be enough to really critically damage him, and with my troops now moving forward to reinforce, Gothmog in the mix as well, as I do love all of my Mordor heroes. Where is the Nazgul? That is what I'm wondering. Looks like he's over here to the left side. I do rethink it was this game that I did finally move him over here, but I believe he gets stuck off screen for a while. So he will be out of the game temporarily, and MayShadow, I believe that that worm is MayShadow's. It is indeed, and that will begin to deal terrible damage to all of these structures here, as it is summoned in a great spot, is taking very little damage at this point. And we now have Kamul out from MayShadow. MayShadow going for the wrong Nazgul. Obviously should have gone for Morganmere instead. However, Kamul actually, I believe they're just about the same, if not exactly the same. Gothmog taking on the worm right in the front. Big mistake, as the worm will decimate Gothmog so fast. Does go down almost immediately there. A single catapult trying to deal with this cave troll over here. Most of my troops have been decimated. I've pulled them back in an attempt to save some of them. Now losing an additional orc pit here, and suddenly I'm in a lot of trouble. What spell did I go for? Looks like I finally have enough power points now to go for that rock drop. Or barrage. I like to call it, of course, rock drop though, as that's basically what it is. Giant rocks falling from the sky. Do lose the siege works as well, so this worm doing tons of work. Have chosen that barrage ability. Interested to see where I choose to use it, as I honestly don't really remember. I mean, yes, maybe right here. Taking out the Troll Cage and the Haradrim Palace would be, I think, the smartest move. Looks like finally my Nazgul shows back up. It did get stuck off screen there for a while, I believe. MayShadow taking a lot of the rear of the map now, has tons of troops running on. These just standing there, and they need to attack this slaughterhouse as soon as they can. This cave troll now, or mountain troll now attacking more mines as well. Looks like for now I am moving forward. Do have a couple of catapults that remain, and with those I could potentially deal some damage. There goes the rock drop, though, the barrage on all of the Elven troops. Instead of using it on MayShadow's base, I have decided to take out all of those Mirkwood archers. And with his Mirkwood archers depleted, ICU is in a ton of trouble. Is there any pikes in this army? There's actually no pikes in this army. That could definitely be a huge problem here for our Dwarven player if these Lancers get a good run through, and it looks like they indeed will. A critical mistake here by Dead, as he will lose a large majority of those troops. On the side there, both Nazguls, both Fell Beasts rather, out for MayShadow now, as he is taken to the skies quite heavily, and that is going to decimate my attack here, as those catapults obviously can do very little against them. Both catapults falling, and I've actually lost all my range units as well, so the remaining units on the field will indeed go down. And rebuilding my siege works at this time. My Nazgul working along the backside here. It looks like it is attempting to re-clear this back area in which MayShadow so well took out all of my slaughterhouses. But there goes a rock drop down by our Dwarven player, I would assume. Yes, Dead throws that down. Without the end expansions, he cannot take these units from range. However, the Nazgul in the air are going to be what's really dealing the damage right now. Prince Brand able to take one of them out. A couple more dwarves here. I think a little bit of a mistake here from MayShadow, keeping those in here for so long, and a great pickup by our Dwarven player. Finally, a couple of pikes joining the fray, but too little too late at this point in the game. And ICU has plenty of money, it appears, and he is immediately rebuilding some of the fortress defenses that he had up earlier. Malthasarn back on the field, now up to level 3. What do I have on the way is what I'm wondering. For now, it looks like I'm just trying to rebuild some of my infrastructure. I did have all of this land sort of littered with slaughterhouses, but MayShadow effectively destroying pretty much all of those with those around the back attacks there. This mine up to level 3 does grab that arrow shot bonus, which is going to be definitely helping me out at this stage of the game, where there are a couple units of orcs running around from MayShadow. Looks like he's trying to do a few more sort of run-bys, if you will, and take out some more of our income-producing structures. The dwarves now moving forward, glowing out on the field. Does have wisely Phalanx is in his army this time. Dead doing a good job here of adapting to his opponent's strategy. I'm not sure if he saw the horsemen before, so I think that's why he didn't have any pikemen out. But now he knows that that is a threat that is on the field, and has gone for basically the counter to the horsemen, and then of course the Men of Dale, which is of course the counter to the Nazgul that MayShadow has out on the field. And MayShadow, launching on another attack, has more trolls moving out on the field. These trolls haven't done a really substantial amount of damage. Yes, they've taken out a mine here or there, but I haven't seen them really take down any important buildings. It was actually the worm that took down all of my production facilities that he was able to summon. But Morgrimir here, my Morgrimir, doing quite well, actually up to level 7, does spot a stray attack troll here, and you can see does about a third of his health damage with each swoop there. Actually misses on that one, but does hit him there actually twice, and one more hit should take him out. That troll doing no damage whatsoever, and here is a huge attack from me. Now it looks like actually pushing in towards MayShadow. Does he actually have, what does he have to defend this? What has he been saving up for is what I'm wondering. It looks like he's upgraded a couple of his buildings here, but it's actually just building orcs. Here comes in Morgrimir. Looks like Morgrimir is the one surviving, but actually I have now upgraded to fire arrows, and all of these units basically a direct counter to Morgrimir. You can see him throwing him on defense, and I think you should actually land him and fight him on the ground. That's exactly what he's going to do. I think a smart choice there, as he does not want to be in the airs against this. However, the Elven player now pushing forward, and Dead looking to be in a little bit of trouble, trying to hang on here as long as he can. I am now moving in against MayShadow, who has lost or is beginning to lose a lot of his infrastructure here, or at least some of the health on it. Morganmere swooping in now as well. Should aim for that catapult if possible, as that will deal a lot of damage, but for now it looks like he's just going to focus on the fortress. I'm attempting to take that out to cripple MayShadow at this particular stage in the game. Mouth of Sauron and Gothmog going for some of the production facilities, could move in now and deal with the fortress. A couple of ranged units from afar. Morganmere in the back from MayShadow doing a lot of damage to those archers, as they basically do very, very little damage to him when, of course, he is unmounted. But this fortress has taken a lot of damage. There is no building heal available, and the fortress goes down. MayShadow just does not have enough here to deal with this army. Morganmere being chased down now as well has taken a lot of damage. I think Mouth of Sauron able to chase him down. Gothmog actually dies somehow, possibly from friendly fire there, but Morganmere actually going to survive. Looks like he will get picked off by his counterpart, who then also dies. So all Nazgul now off the field, but MayShadow actually leaves the game at this point. I think with all of his production facilities going down, the tournament looming in the future here, he just sort of said, yeah, I could stay in and like try and maybe battle it out, but basically it looks like I've lost. I believe I'm trying to think. I think he did say GG, so he knew it was pretty much over, and will leave the game there. So with him out, his ally actually doing quite well. However, has not been able to take out the Dwarven Fortress yet, and doesn't really have any siege here. But actually, he does have siege here as an End Summon goes down. And suddenly, ICU looking to be in a phenomenal position against the Dwarves, who have very little here to deal with this. Oh, here comes the army, though. Now they have a ton here to deal with it. The Hobbit Summon goes down, in effect to take out some of these elves. However, the Ents not going down quite fast enough. The Fortress of Dead taking extreme damage. 2 more rocks from the Ents. The rebuild goes down. That should be enough to save it, though, with Glorvindel in the front. He is beginning to take some extra damage from that fortress. The final Ent looks like, actually, is this fortress still going to go down? Even with the heal, the Ent gets off another rock, and the Fortress of Dead goes down. And just as I was saying that ICU hasn't been able to take out the fortress, he takes out the fortress. So with my ally crippled here, that's going to prevent him from summoning any of his powers. Looks like he went for a couple of all level 5s. ICU now sitting at 7. But really the scary part is right here. The Balrog is now available. And here it comes. As taking out all of MayShadow's buildings have given me a ton of power points. And with the Balrog summon, ICU's base looking to be in a lot of trouble. A single whip shot will remove that tower from the game very quickly. My forces moving in from the right side as well. And ICU cannot fight 2 players off at once. Even though he's crippled the dwarves, he hasn't crippled their army. And even without the Fortress Dead now moving forward, able to sort of hang in there while my forces were able to deal that sort of critical blow to MayShadow. And of course, guys, remember, Dead was helping me out all game, throwing dwarves at both his opponent and my opponent as well. So I really liked sort of our team effort this game, and it looks like indeed we will go ahead and claim this early victory before that April tournament. Of course, that tournament, guys, was hosted by GameReplays.org. That is a site that I am a member of now. Do definitely recommend you guys check it out, check out the forums. We have a ton of stuff there if you guys are interested in anything Witch King related. That's all for now, guys. Definitely more team games coming out in the near future. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. MasterCloud signing out.